Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. This is the English translation of the Majlis of Hazrat Maulana Qamar Uzzaman Saheb Damat Barakatuhum, which took place on Thursday, the 17th of Rabi'ul Akhir, corresponding with the English date, 2nd of November 2023. Hazrat Wala is speaking or reading one of the maktubat and the letters of Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom Rahimahullah. Now, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab continuously used to read, remind us, admonish us by these maktubat and these letters. And who was his attendees there? Who were the people that came and sat with him there? None other than the ulama of the time. Ek maktub islah ke liye kafi hai. Just one of these letters, one of these correspondence that he had with his disciples, colleagues, contemporaries, whoever they were, it is sufficient for the rehabilitation, reformation of a person. Now, Mujaddid, a reformer, Hazrat Mujaddid Al-Fithani, normally a reformer, whatever portions had been left out, normally the Khalifa fulfills those gaps and completes it completely and totally and brings it to the point of perfection. So, that's exactly what Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom done. He was the illustrious son as well as the Khalifa of his father. Thereafter, Hazrat Wala says, Hazrat Shah Wasiullah Sahab farmate the, he used to say, but I will not mention it here. Nevertheless, ek jumla kafi hai. Just one sentence is sufficient. Here, he starts off by saying, this particular letter was going to Mulla Ataullah Surti ke naam unko nasihat ke bayan mein tahrir farmaya, giving him nasihat. Starts off in this manner and fashion. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillah. Wa salamun ala ibadihi alladhina istafa. And then he goes on to address the person, Bradaram, Mulla Ataullah. After some du'aiya kalimat of salamati and afiyat for the close ones, for the people who are near to him and those who are further away from him, he goes on to say to him, Chand roza zindagi को जो के बहुत कीमती है, सबसे कीमती अशिया में सर्व करना चाहिए. Now just one sentence like that is enough for a person. This life of a few days is very, very precious. Therefore, it should be spent in the most precious of all things. And what is that? وَمَوْلَى حَقِيقِي جَلَّ سُلْطَانُهُ ki खुशनुदियों का हासिल करना है, and that is in achieving the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. कमर हिम्मत को इस बुजुर्ग काम में कसकर बांधे, and the back of courage should be fastened tightly in order to achieve this great work. और जो उसके मुनाफी है उससे अलग हो जाइए, and whatever is against this year, then separate yourself from it. Separate yourself from it. बंदा के हक में कमाल ये है कि उसका मौला उससे राजी हो और वो उससे यानी अपने मौला से राजी हो. Excellence in the servant, in the bondsman of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that Allah is pleased with him and he is pleased with Allah. इसलिए मकाम रिज़ा तमाम मकामात से ऊपर हुआ. And it is for this reason that the station of riza and pleasure, the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, while we are pleased with him, this is the highest of all stations and all positions. Nevertheless, Hazrat Wala is saying so many things in between. Let me mention them to you as well. You know, today people just come, see you and they go. But in the old days, it was not like that. Rather, what was it? every tabib used to see. Rather, he would refer to his books. Then he would write out a script, and then the list goes on. Hakim Fakhruddin himself came to Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab for his own spiritual sickness and malady. Thereafter, he started treating Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab with his physical ailments. Now, what can I tell you about him? He was the grandson, maybe from the side of the son, Pota, or from the side of the daughter, Nawasa, of Hazrat Maulana Mohammad Hussain Alahbadi. You know, on one occasion, Hazrat Wala is speaking of his trips to South Africa. He says at that time there was some much influence of Shiism at some many decades ago. So at that time there, when I was asked to speak and people told me about the scenarios and what's happening there and how these people are spreading their beliefs, I said to the people there then, वो तो अपने अकाबिर की बातें बयान कर रहे हैं. They are speaking about the talks of their seniors and their elders. Rather, they know it by heart. Tell me, क्या तुमको अपने अकाबिर की बातें याद है? Do you know? Do you remember? Do you even have any knowledge of the talks or the teachings of your akabirin? सबसे कीमती चीज में. So we have to spend this time of ours in the most precious and valuable thing, and that is in pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So these majalis are for tazkir akhirat, to make a person admonish him regarding the akhirat. So a person came and he asked Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab on one occasion that, tell me, I want to start off some business, factory, manufacturing, doing this, that, the other in commerce and trade. So he said to him, listen, in Delhi there is a special office designated for this purpose. Go there, they'll tell you about it. Hum log दूसरे कारोबारी में है. Listen, we are doing some different business here. This shop here, I mean, it's not said in so many words, I'm saying this and adding it, is that of the love and the ma'rifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Hazrat Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahab, you know, when we say we have to get ready and straighten then back and make mujahada, etc., and do this and that, Maulana Muhammad Ahmad Sahab used to continuously quote to us the incident of this buzruk. And when he was told by his mother on in year ones that why don't you eat roti? And then he said, yes, you know what happens? That so much of time is consumed in me chewing that roti as opposed to me having something else as that meal, drinking it, or this or that or the other, that it puts me back so far back in saying, rather I miss out saying the name Allah, Allah, thousands of times. Therefore, I have abandoned eating roti. Allahu Akbar. You know, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to say that we are the muqallid of Imam Abu Hanifa. We follow his aqwal. How is it that we do not follow his ahwal and his spiritual states? We know his fiqh juziyat, his masala masail, jurisprudence, we know that. What about his ahwal? On one occasion, Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah enters the masjid to perform the Isha Salat, and the Imam recites Suratul Zilzal in the Isha Salat. He comes to the ayat, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ خَيْرًا يَرَهُ وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَهُ. Whoever does the atom amount of good shall see it, and whoever does the atom amount of evil shall see it, meaning tomorrow on the day of Qiyamah. It had such a deep effect on Hazrat Imam Abu Hanifa that after the Salat, the Imam went into his hujra and his room which was adjacent to the masjid, whereas Imam Saheb, Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, held his beard and continuously cried until the time of Fajr, that Ya Allah, oh that Zat and that supreme and grand being, referring to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who rewards for the atom amount of good and who punishes for the atom amount of evil. Save this Abd Nu'man from Niran. So save this Abd Nu'man, save me from the fire of hell. Nevertheless, Allah Ta'ala, together with the aqwal, we are making naqal of the aqwal, Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of making amal on the ahwal as well. Rather, Allah Ta'ala bless us with kamil ittiba', that we follow these personalities completely, totally and perfectly in their statements and in their spirituality as well. You know, when Hazrat Tanvi went to Hazrat Haji Imdadullah, now he studies for so many years in Darul Uloom Deoband, comes home and now he's leaving to go. The family ladies or people, whoever it was there, were saying that, but Ashraf Ali, didn't you just study so many years of Alimiyat? Now what are you going to do? And was it his mother or one of the other women folk that answered? And they said, up till now, wo padhne liye gaye, ab bunne gaye. That up till now, he went to study, do research, learn, etc. But rather now, he is going for the ultimate, for perfection, to actually become fully done. We would say roasted or completed or perfected. It is for this reason that Hazrat Tanvi used to say that after Faraghat, go for a year or 2 years and spend with some buzrug, so you can get some rusukh and you can get some firmness and entrenchment in that knowledge that you did achieve, the true essence, the reality, the haqiqat of that knowledge. So Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of understanding this tariq and making amal on it. So, do you think that this is some simple or ordinary letter? No. It is tremendous. It is profound in every way. The author of it, Hazrat Khaja Muhammad Masoom, he was the Sheikh. Hundreds and thousands of murids. His khalifas amounted up to 7,000. And whatever is left out, normally the deputy completes it, perfects it, fills that gap, explains it, makes the shri and makes it easier for the people. And then his son, Sheikh Saifuddin, then went to Delhi and lit up the whole of Delhi. When he went there and he was invited to the king's court, he said, "What's these elephants that are here on the wall?" Meaning those statues. "I refuse to enter. Drop them from there, demolish them, destroy them." And when he went in, there was some type of imitation fish, etc. that disturbed him. And he said, "No, take this out and throw it. What is this here? Then I'll enter." Great personalities. Nevertheless, we quote their very words, because in these words that we quote of theirs, verbatim, word to word, as how they said it, what can I say about that? There is nuraniyat in it. We understand, dunya bar samajhte. We understand everything in this world, lekin deen ki baatein nahi. We haven't understood anything of the deen. Understand this maqam-e-riza that they are speaking about. That this precious life that you have, spend it in the most precious commodity. Spend it on the most precious things. And what is that most precious thing? It is to obtain the pleasure and the happiness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Get yourself completely ready to carry this out, and do not do something, or rather abandon those things that goes against the grain of you achieving that. Excellence of the servant is in that he pleases Allah and Allah is pleased with him. It is for this reason that maqam-e-riza is higher than all other stations. And the alamat and the sign of this riza and the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is that Allah ta'ala is pleased, or And the banda, in his wishes, in his desires, in his intentions, in any of his movements, body language, whatever it is, he does not display unhappiness to any decision of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, whether what category it comes from, whether it is a ni'mat, a boon and a bounty, or whether it's sorrow or grief that comes his way. Nevertheless, Allah Ta'ala give us the tawfiq and the hidayat of carrying out the awamir and staying away from the nawahi, doing the orders and injunctions and staying away from the prohibitions. And that Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, we obey Him and we hand ourselves over to Him and we choose this. And he ends the letter with wassalam, wassalam. So speaking about rida, in short and in simple, harche as dost mirasad nekost. Everything that comes from the side of the friend, referring to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, there is only good in it. No matter how difficult it may seem or appear to us. And this is exactly what the Sahaba achieved, radiyallahu anhum, and that title Allah gave it to them, that certificate that Allah was pleased with them, and they were pleased with Allah. And that stamp was the highest dalil or proof for them. Nevertheless, I actually feel ashamed, Hazrat Wala is saying, to quote all of this here. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab, what much enthusiasm would teach and pass on these quotations, etc. Nevertheless, more than even lectures and the oratory, the verbal, to say this, that and the other, more than that is the tahrir, the writings of these elders. Just like how the malfuzat and the statements prove to be so beneficial, similarly the maktubat also prove to be very beneficial. Hazrat Tanvi has written the Tarbiyatul Salik, in how many volumes that alone is. So many khutut used to come and letters would come. Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahab used to comment also that this is a wonderful letter. Rather, he would demand from us, on a Thursday evening we would get off for the one day in the week, and he seen us because we were now in relaxed mode. And then at that time he said, no, I want you people to write to me your spiritual state. Now what to do and how to do, it's actually difficult for a person when he enters the physician and the doctor's surgery. And he's sitting in front of the doctor for him to describe and pass on to the doctor the way he's feeling, etc., is difficult on its own. Therefore, you would see on so many occasions people are unable to express their state or their pain physical to the doctor. So, where will a person explain his spiritual sicknesses to these great spiritual doctors? Nevertheless, Allah Ta'ala give us shifa and give us sihat regarding our spirituality. A person becomes so restless regarding fever. But on this other hand, we got no care. We don't even know what is hasad, how great and how deadly a disease, ailment and sickness it is. And these sicknesses of the heart sometimes takes a very long time to leave a person. So what is tasawwuf? It is to remedy the outward and the inward. The outward with the ahkam, the laws and the a'mal that we carry out, our roza, salat, etc. And the batin, we rectify it by straightening and fixing up our akhlaq. Now Allah give us that tawfiq. There was a buzruk who used to say that batin, he would refer to that, ke batin ko dukaan se yaad kiya. He would even speak about the shops of batin, meaning what? There you would get shifa, complete shifa from your spiritual ailments and sicknesses. So, hasad is no ordinary simple thing. It is deadly. Kibr, pride, the atom amount of it will not allow a person to enter into Jannah. Inna lil ilmi tughyanun kama hiya lil mal. Definitely for knowledge there is rebelliousness that comes with it, like how rebelliousness comes with a person who is given wealth. And similarly, Hazrat Maulana Shah Wasiullah Sahib used to add to this narration, which is mentioned in the kitabs. He would say, وَكَذَا لِلْعِبَادَةِ fil ibadah. And similarly is the case and the story of ibadat. Many people carry out ibadat, due to which they become rebellious. Rather than they becoming humble with that ibadat, they become rebellious and start looking down upon others. So what to do? What to say? हम सबको इसकी ग़फ़लत है. We are all stuck in negligence regarding this important matter that I am opening up to you. Tasawwuf in essence is ta'miru zahir wal batin. It is to ta'mir. It is to embellish. It is to decorate the outside with a'mal zahira, and it is to decorate the inside with the akhlaq fadila. So the zahira with ahkam, with a'mal, etc. And the batin to remove this pride, jealousy, hatred, and to adorn oneself with trust in Allah, with humility, etc., etc. The list goes on. رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا رَبَّنَا تَقَبَّلْ مِنَّا. Allah Ta'ala bless us all with external and internal health. My health is to kharab hi chal raha hai. I'm not feeling too well. I'm not in the best of health. Allah Ta'ala give me shifa externally and internally, and call me to Him. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم بحرمة سيد النبي الكريم صلى الله عليه وسلم.